There's a certain question that always bothered me studying Tanya. In Tanya, in Igeres HaTshuva, the part that deals with repentance, in the 11th chapter, the Alter Rebbe explains the meaning of the verse V'chatasi negdi samit. My sins are before me always. And the Alter Rebbe explains that the word negdi means meirachik, from a distance. And he bases this on the verse, on several verses. That one verse that says Va'ata tisyatzi mi neged, that you shall stand afar from me. And another verse that says mi neged saviv la'ohel, that the Jew is encamped saviv la'ohel, around the oil, mi neged. And Rashi explains that it means from a distance. Now, there's another pasuk that uses the word mi neged, and that's the verse Shavisi Hashem lenegdi tamid, that I have placed God mi neged before me tamid, constantly. Now, based on the Alter Rebbe's explanation in Tanya, what the word mi neged in this verse means is that I have always placed God afar from me. Now, why would a person do that? Mi neged usually be Shavisi Hashem lenegdi tamid is expressive of the greatest immanence, that God is always before me. According to this explanation, it would seem that what Tanya is, what the verse is expressing, that God is always distant from me. So which one is it? Now, this could be explained through an allegory of a person standing on the precipice of a ravine. Now, this ravine, this chasm, this canyon, is a canyon that extends infinitely. That from one side of the chasm to the other, there's an infinite distance and an infinite space. Now, if a finite man is standing on one side of the canyon, no matter how far he'll jump to try and get to the other side of the canyon, not only will he never get there, but it's as if he is yet to begun. For a finite man could never traverse an infinite space. However, if there's an infinite individual at the other side of the canyon, the infinite individual could jump to the other side of the ravine, because only he could traverse an infinite distance. Now, it says about Moshe Rabbeinu that Moshe Rabbeinu nafal al pano. Moshe Rabbeinu fell on his face. So the Medrash says, Ma ra'ah shenafal al pano. What did he see that he fell on his face? Midas emes ra'ah. He saw the truth. And what's the truth? It explains in Chassidus that what Moshe Rabbeinu experienced and what he became cognizant of, he became conscious of the infinite transcendence of God. That no matter how perfect his service of God is, he's infinitely distant from him. Meaning to say that not only is he not serving him, but whatever he does it's an insult to him. For if you would bring a king a meal in a food in a wastebasket, not only are you not praising him, but you're offending him. Now, when a person realizes that God is infinitely transcendent and infinitely distant, a person can become tremendously disheartened. How could a person connect to God if God is infinitely far from him? This is the mashal that the Ravine teaches us. That although God is objectively distant from us and we cannot reach him, God reaches us. God jumped to the other side of the ravine and reaches us. And he gives value to our finite service. This is expressed in the statement that's brought in Kabbalah and Chassidus about God, that God is l'mayla ad ein ketz u'lamata mata ad ein tachlis. That God is infinitely transcendent and infinitely immanent. Now, a person can make a mistake at the meaning of this, and think that there's two aspects of God's expression to the world. There's the transcendent expression, and there's a immanent transcendent. However, that being the case, that means that there's a tremendous duality. That what a person experiences in God's immanence is not the experience of God transcendent, which means that there's two experiences of God, and that a person can never experience the transcendent God. However, this isn't really the case. What it really means is that l'mayla mayla andin ketz u'lamata mata andin tachlis is that which is transcendent is immanent. That experience which is infinitely distant from us is also always present, and we're able to experience. The atmos, the essence of God, that is far, can also experience in each and every action. Now, this explains a mistake that a lot of academics make when approaching Hasidic thought, in their comparison of Hasidism to Spinoza's pantheism. That the immanence, saying that the immanence of Chassidus is the immanence of Spinoza. Now, it's not really true. And not only is it not true, but the two things are really two opposites. What Spinoza is saying is that there's a transcendent God, at most, if you believe in a transcendent, that there's a transcendent experience of God, and there's an immanent transcendent experience of God. But you don't experience transcendence and immanence. You can't experience the transcendent, the infinite part of God, so to speak, in your finite experience. You could experience a finite experience. Or what Chassidus teaches us is that no, that which is infinitely transcendent can be experienced in our finite actions. And this is what is explained in Shavisi Ashlam and Nagdi Tamid. What this elicits, that God is before me constantly, what this elicits is a modality of service of the Almighty, which has 2 points. On one point, on one hand, a person realizes that what I'm doing has tremendous value. Not just tremendous value, infinite value. That in my action, in the mitzvah that I do, that God commanded me to do, where God initiated the relationship and traversed the infinite ravine, I can connect to the infinite God. And on the other hand, a person is to realize, no, that no matter how close I come to God, He's infinitely far from me. And therefore I must always continue to climb the infinite rungs to reach Him. So this is what a person needs to constantly have in the service to God. You need to realize that where could be God, where is God? Where can I find God? In each and every action that I do. Where is God? He's present. He's right before me. He's right here in every action that I do. And on the other hand, a person must realize that God is infinitely far from me, and therefore always continues and always strive to go higher and higher to experience godliness on a deeper and deeper level.